Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So as you will probably already know from the title, today I want to talk to you about something a little bit different, and that is my struggle, my journey with something called rosacea. It's also referred to as acne rosacea. And I actually didn't realise when I posted a picture on Twitter quite how common it is and quite how many people suffer from it. I've had a real struggle with it, if I'm completely honest, and it's only in the last 6 months or so that I've really kind of got a grasp on controlling my rosacea and finding myself again, as weird as that sounds, because I feel like my face has just been completely overwhelmed by this horrible like rash like thing on my face. Not even horrible in appearance, but just kind of itchy and irritated, and it just didn't really make me feel like myself. So I basically just wanted to sit down in a really informal setting. As you can see, the natural light is changing all the time and my hair is scruffy, so please excuse that, but I just thought it was a nice opportunity, since I had a spare half hour, to sit down and chat to you about what I've found. Hopefully this might appeal to people that have suffered with acne rosacea in the past, or have got it currently, or even anyone who's got skin problems, I suppose, because this is universal. And with all skin problems, I guess it's a case of trial and error and seeing what works for you. So I have prepared a list of questions on my phone, because otherwise I'll just waffle and ramble and this video won't be help to anyone. So the first question I have written down to answer is, what is rosacea? So rosacea comes in many forms, and if you Google it, there will be lots of different kind of rash type spots. It's quite common on your face. Lots of people get it as they kind of enter their 40s and hormones and things change, but it's also very common in young girls and young guys in their 20s. So I actually first found that I started suffering with it when I was 17. So I'm now 23, so that was, gosh, a good 6 years ago now. No, more than that, 7 years ago, wow. It can really vary in severity, so some people find that their entire face is enveloped in this kind of bumpy, itchy, red rash. It can look quite inflamed, it can look very, very different to your normal skin colour. In fact, I think probably the best way of showing you what it is to just show you my before picture, which I will insert here. You probably will have already seen it on my thumbnail, but yes, that is how my skin looked about 7 months ago. And I actually posted this picture on Twitter and said that despite my face looking like this, I had come to still gain confidence and not wear makeup, or not feel the need to wear makeup all the time, and I'd kind of come to terms with my rosacea. And to be honest, at that point I'd kind of come to a point where I thought, it's probably not going to get better, because I've had this for so long and I've clearly not found the solution, so I'm probably not going to find it. But don't lose hope, because I've definitely found a really helpful solution, and I will obviously share everything with you later on in the video. So the next question is, who gets it? And I guess I've kind of answered this already. Rosacea isn't picky, and you can suffer from it at any age, any gender. It's not directly affected by your hormones, but it can be, so that can have an effect. I know for me, I was on the pill when I was about, I think I started around 15 or 16, and it wasn't as a direct result of that, because it was 2 years later that I started developing acne rosacea. However, I have found that hormones can really greatly affect it, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, it's not picky, anyone can get it, and I know it's much more common than I initially thought it was. The next question is, what is it caused by? And I don't know enough about this scientifically in order to point blank say to you exactly what it's caused by. It can be caused by a whole host of things. I'm not sure what the initial trigger was for me necessarily, but I know I just started to see a kind of rash develop on my face, and initially I thought it was some kind of allergy, but then it just never really went away. But I know now, or previously, it would be flared up by certain things. So that can include eating spicy food or eating food that you are intolerant to. It can also be flared up by physical activity and stress, and also changes in temperature. So I know for me especially, my rosacea gets worse in the winter because it's not only very dehydrating in the air, but it is also very cold, and so you go from stepping out of a warm house into the cold weather, and that can really play havoc with your skin. So yes, it can be caused by a whole host of things, and it can be triggered by a whole host of things. It's not picky about who it affects, and so all of those things together make it a very hard condition to treat. I was very naive in the beginning. I thought that if I went to the doctors and told them about what was going on with me, they'd be able to prescribe me something and I'd get it sorted and it would be gone, and I could just go back to having the rosacea free face that I'd had before. But unfortunately it wasn't that simple, and as with a lot of things, so as you may know if you watch my channel already, I do suffer from IBS as well, which can be connected to rosacea, but my doctors don't think it is. It is just a case of trial and error with these things, which is why I wanted to share with you my story, because if you're going through it at the moment and are in the place that I was a few months ago, where you've resolved yourself to the fact that you've tried everything and you probably won't be able to fix it, then this one's for you, because I definitely have a few more things that you can try out. So on my journey, I actually visited a number of dermatologists, each of whom offered me a whole range of creams that I could get on a private prescription or an NHS prescription, and I tried all of them until I found one that worked for me. Both dermatologists were really helpful in diagnosing the condition, because lots of my kind of normal GPs thought it was something called keratosis pilaris on my face, because my kind of rosacea was the more on the acne side. So when I put on my foundation to cover it up, it would cover up the redness, but I'd still have these very kind of prominent lumps on my face, which gave the appearance that I had kind of acne underneath. And to be honest, it did take a toll on my confidence. I've always been a very confident, outgoing person, and I've never been the kind of person that will have to wear makeup out or wear makeup to the shops, or just if I'm popping out. I've always been very confident in my own skin, and I feel like this rosacea really took a knock on that, which was disappointing, because as I said, I'd never had problems before. I'd always had really clear skin growing up. As a teenager, I never had spots, or like I had the odd one maybe around my period, but I had very good skin. So it went from not really thinking about my skin to all my attention was on my skin, and it was quite a tricky time actually. But I did go and visit these dermatologists who gave me a really reassuring diagnosis, because I think once you know what it is, you can really start on that journey to tackling it. So the things that I do now, because I guess that's why you've clicked on this video, you really want to hear what's worked for me. The first things are lifestyle changes. So I know this is probably not what a lot of people want to hear. I put this off for ages, especially with my IBS. I know a lot of doctors said, right, you need to cut this out, this out, and this out, and try it out. And it wasn't that I was reluctant to do so, but I think I was naive, and I didn't realise quite how much of an effect what we put into our bodies shows up on our bodies, or shows in our inner workings of our bodies. So I cut out dairy, and this was a massive help in really clearing my skin, to be honest. I noticed quite a big difference very soon in the process. I'm now 2.5 years on from not eating dairy. I literally haven't touched a drop of cheese, and this is from someone who used to have cheese with every meal and a family-sized bar of Galaxy every single night. Honestly, that is no word of a lie. I used to do that. So if I can do it, you can do it. And honestly, I guess if it helps your skin, then it's worth it. So I cut out dairy, noticed a dramatic difference, and I've definitely noticed in the hydration of my skin and also the irritation. It just looks a lot less inflamed and a lot less kind of clogged up. Those acne bumps seem to have gone down. But that wasn't the only thing I did. I would say that it helped kind of 20 to 30% reduction in my acne rosacea. And so up until about 6 months ago, I was trying a whole host of different antibiotics, different creams, different topical ointments. So I tried things like hydrocortisone cream and hydrocortisone ointment as well, which is like a gel. I tried limacycline antibiotics, which I was on a course of for a year. They didn't help at all, and in fact my mum has rosacea. She takes limacycline every single day and she finds that that's her kind of cure. So which just shows that even if it does run in your family, your cure isn't necessarily, or not cure, but your treatment isn't necessarily going to be the same as somebody else's. And I do want to overemphasize that what works for me may not work for you. It's all about trial and error, but I do think that maybe giving these a go might help. Who knows? It's definitely worth a try anyway. So I was on limacycline, as I said. That didn't help, but what it did do was made my skin really, really dry, and that was a problem that kind of continued. And so I had this acne rosacea, which was bumpy acne, kind of inflamed, irritated skin, and then I also had very, very dry, dehydrated skin, to the point where I actually couldn't even wear foundation because my skin was flaking off. Hopefully you're not eating, I'm really sorry if you are. It was disgusting, and I used to just sit there and look at my face and cry because I thought, this is not how I should be living. I want to experiment with makeup. I want to really feel good about myself and feel confident, and I feel like that really took a huge dent. So I'm going to show you the creams, the supplements, the things aside from cutting out dairy that have really, really helped me. And I will at the end insert a few clips of my skin without makeup, because obviously at the moment I do have makeup on, and show you how it is, and then you can compare for yourself the improvements. So I'll also, if you're interested, but I'm not going to do it in this video, otherwise it's going to make it really super long. If you are interested in seeing the foundations and kind of other makeup products that I use on an everyday basis, because whilst my rosacea is definitely on the mend, it's definitely managed, it's still kind of there and it still flares up if I go and eat a really hot curry or go somewhere really cold. So I mean, I've definitely controlled it. It's definitely at a point where I'm really, really confident with my skin, but it's probably something that's always going to flare up occasionally, like IBS as well. Also, I'm just looking at my nails in the screen and they are disgusting. It is Halloween today when I'm filming this, and the nails have half fallen off and I'm not really sure how to get rid of them, so please excuse them, please forgive me, they're not normally quite this bad. So we'll start with supplements because I think they definitely are a great start when it comes to sorting out your skin. As with things like cutting out dairy, supplements, it doesn't happen overnight. You do need to kind of give it at least a month minimum and really kind of sort out the difference. One thing that I haven't brought up to show you with me are my probiotics, which I take on a daily basis. So I take Alflorex, and I'll link that down below in case you fancy checking that out. That just maintains your gut health and your balanced equilibrium in your body, and that really can affect things like skin, your digestion, and it just helps kind of maintain general health. I know personally my immune system is a million times better since I started taking probiotics, because I used to get ill, I used to get colds, I used to catch everything going around whenever it did. So, and I now haven't been properly ill. I mean, I probably get like a little bit of a cold for a day or 24 hours, but I haven't been properly ill for at least a year and a half, which is really, really good. But anyway, I'm gonna stop waffling. I told you I waffle. The supplements that I take are both from Boots. They're both Boots own, and they are the Evening Primrose Oil, which if you're a woman and you find that the contraceptive pill that you take really doesn't help with your moods and mood swings and things, which I find I really struggle with, then the Evening Primrose Oil is really, really great for that. It's also great for skin, for collagen, and just overall general health. I have found them to be a massive help. And then the other one I take is called Selenium ACNE, and it just says on the bottle that it helps to maintain normal skin and hair. Now, selenium is something that I came across a few years ago because I used to have a really dry, irritated scalp, and I started using selenium in with my shampoo, and it basically cured it overnight. So I kind of figured if it was helping with the dryness on my scalp, then it might help internally with my skin. So I started taking the supplements, and it has worked wonders, not only with my skin, my eyelashes, my nails, my hair. It is just a really, really great thing to get in the habit of taking. And as I said, they're both from Boots. They're like £3 and £6. So really not expensive and really easy to weave into your daily routine. And then I guess the other important things are skincare and the products that you're using on your skin. So I have to be really, really careful about this, because if I even make one wrong move and use the wrong thing for a night, I can find that my skin can go a little bit haywire. So I use these products religiously. I travel lots, I always make sure I have them. I've bought duplicates of lots of them so that I know if I lose one of them, I've got them on standby. One thing I forgot to bring up actually was the thing that I use to take all my makeup off, and that is the Melting Makeup Cleanser, which I'll link down below. I've actually started using it recently because I had a different makeup melting cleanser, and this one is amazing, but I will be including that one in an upcoming weekly vlog, so I'll show you that. But I just wanted to show you today the kind of creams, moisturizers, topical things I use to keep it hydrated and to keep the rosacea at bay. So I found that the main thing that has been helpful, which was at the request of a dermatologist whose details I will link down below because she was amazing and so kind and so helpful, and she prescribed me something called Rosex 0.5% cream. It has got metronidazole in. I'm gonna put it all in the description box because I probably mullered that, but I'm not sure what this does. But it basically helped those red patches to completely disappear, and over the kind of course of a few months that I've been using it, it has also flattened the bumpiness. I probably owe my kind of cure management to this cream. It is amazing, and whilst you should only use a very thin layer, it's incredible. The only thing that I would say is it's quite drying, which is why I use a bundle of other creams to keep it really hydrated, because if you only use this, your skin gets really itchy because it's dry, and that obviously then turns it back into rosacea and makes it more irritated and more inflamed. So I use the Rosex cream. I pop that on first after I've cleansed and washed my face in the morning. I try and use lukewarm water where possible, because if you use really hot water, it can flare up your rosacea. So I'll pop a thin layer on of that on the most kind of inflamed areas. I now find that I don't have any inflamed areas, so I just pop this on everywhere. It's a preventative method I've found, and it also really helps to calm everything down. So I love that, and I would highly recommend, if you haven't tried that already from your GP, that is something that you can only get on prescription, but I would definitely recommend it. And then depending on how much you want to spend and what country you live in, I've got two different moisturizers that I use. I use both intermittently and both are amazing. I just quite like to switch between the two because I find if I use the same one continuously, my skin actually gets used to it and it doesn't work quite as well. So I just chop and change and switch it up. And so these two products are the Neal's Yard Remedies Almond Moisturizer, which says it protects and nourishes sensitive skin. It's amazing. It's about £20 for this pot, but this pot, as you can see, it's very well used. All of the kind of packaging's faded, but this probably lasted me about 6 to 8 months, and it smells amazing, it feels amazing, it's very, very soothing, leaves you with really soft skin, and it hasn't got any nasty stuff in it. So because a lot of parabens and chemicals and stuff that are added to normal moisturizers can really irritate your rosacea, so I would definitely recommend that one. The next product I use, if you're based in the US, this is probably a better solution because I'm not actually sure if Neil's Yard is in the US, but this is something that I got from Sephora in New York, so that was about 2 months ago now, and I've been using it ever since, and it is amazing. It feels like silk on your skin, and it leaves you so moisturized and hydrated, and it lasts all day, as with the other cream, but I just love switching between the two. So this is the Tatcha water cream. Now if you do find that you want an exfoliating product, I personally don't exfoliate very often because I found that it can irritate my skin, but Tatcha actually do a complimentary, well not complimentary, you have to pay for it, but they do an exfoliating product in the same range, and it's called the Rice Enzyme Exfoliating Powder. It's basically a tub like this, but it's full of powder, and you pop a little bit into your hand, add water and kind of rub it, and it turns into a really gentle exfoliator. It doesn't strip your skin of all its natural oils, and it's just really helpful. I love it. It's in the bathroom covered in water probably, so I'm not going to get it out, but I would highly recommend Tatcha. They are a Japanese brand. In Sephora they're sold out pretty much everywhere, which is why I stocked up on it, and I am a huge fan, so I would definitely recommend it. One thing you might find if you do suffer with rosacea and dry skin is that you get a lot of dry skin around your eyebrows and on your eyelids. So I use something from Hydrological called the Hydra Sill Dry Eye Gel. So I've just been editing back my footage and it cut me off at this point, so I thought I'd continue sitting here because the light's gone outside. It's all a disaster, but basically, as I was saying, the dry eye gel is really great if you get a lot of dry skin around your eyebrows and your eyelids. I used to suffer from this a lot. It was really irritating because I couldn't properly wear eyebrow pencil or eyeshadow or anything like that, and it was also very itchy as well. So I just use this every day, kind of as a preventative measure, but also to make sure that that area is really nice and hydrated, because it doesn't actually produce its own moisture. It's one of those places on your skin that just doesn't produce any of its own natural moisture or oils, so you have to make sure you top it up. And I basically apply that all over, leave it to dry in with my moisturizer, and it just eliminates all of that trouble. And then moving on, I then started to speak about another product called the Simple Skincare Hydrating Booster. Now this is a water-based solution, and I use it instead of a primer. One, because it's much more lightweight and gentle, and obviously the main ingredient is water, which is great because it's very natural, but also because I always struggled to achieve that dewy kind of Gigi Hadid glow. I never got anywhere near that. I actually went through a period of a few months where I had to either reapply my moisturizer and take all my foundation off throughout the day because it was just so dry, or I'd applied way too much moisturizer that my foundation would melt off. So this is a really nice kind of in-between product. I just apply my normal moisturizer, and then I apply this as a kind of serum gel primer before I put my foundation on. So this is a lovely product. Again, it's got no nasty stuff in, no parabens. It's got minerals and plant extract, it says, and it's just a really lightweight, so it doesn't weigh your skin down. It's not really heavy. It's just a lovely extra boosting product, I suppose. And then last but not least, just in case you suffer with dry lips, because that again can be in connection with rosacea, and I find that I used to suffer very drastically with dry lips, to the point that I would go to events and feel really conscious, because even though I was applying lip balm, my lips were so dry and I just felt like I couldn't talk to people and be myself, which I know is really strange, but it's just one of those things. Especially if you're taking things like antibiotics which really dry your skin out, then you can find that your lips get quite dry and cracked. Anyway, this is the product that I use, and it is the Lip Volume Voluptuous lip gloss by Transformulas. This lip gloss is actually a plumping lip gloss, so it is kind of made, it's like their motto is beauty without surgery, so it's made for if you want to kind of get a little bit bigger lips. It's a plumping lip gloss, but I don't use it for that. I'm pretty happy with the size of my lips already. I use it because it is so hydrating, and I applied this last weekend. I went to an event when I was working there all day and all into the evening, and honestly I didn't have to reapply this once because it lasted, my lips felt really hydrated, and it was such a nice bonus just to not have to worry about dry lips. So I know it sounds like a really small thing, but it makes a big difference, so I would highly recommend that. So hopefully this video has been relatively insightful and you've gained a lot from it. Maybe it's just nice to kind of know that other people suffer with it as well and that you're not alone. I have obviously found that these products have helped for me, but as I said, I just want to reiterate again, it's not a one-size-fits-all cure. Your kind of solution could be different. I'm just showing you what's helped me, and hopefully it's helped you in some way, even if it's a really small way. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions for me, please do feel free to leave them down below. I'd love for you to subscribe if you did enjoy this, because it would be lovely to have you on the journey. I did only start YouTube back in February, so I'm still very new and excited to be on YouTube and share all of my favourite things with you. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.